so today I'm going to be doing my blush, bronzer, and highlighter declutter. We're starting out with a lot of products, and not gonna lie, I've been really dreading this one because I love all of these products a lot, but I have too many, so I need to get rid of some. There are definitely some that I don't like that I know I can get rid of, but this one is going to be a difficult one, so I'm sorry if it's not exactly how you're used to declutters, where they get rid of a whole lot of their stuff, but I'm going to try my best. Okay, so I'm going to start over here with blush. Some of these are like mixed little palettes. Like this one is a blush and bronzer thing, so I'm just going to put them wherever, but for the most part I have them separated. So anyway, I'm going to start over here. And I guess we'll go ahead and start with this guy. This is the e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzing powder in the shade Fiji. This is the matte version, and that's what it looks like. I've used this a lot, but I think I've just kind of gotten tired of it at this point. I just haven't really been reaching for it. They're really, really good powders, but they just don't really draw my attention anymore. So that's what they look like. I think I'm just gonna get rid of this. This is a really good product, but I just don't really use it anymore, and I've definitely gotten my use out of it. I don't know if you can tell how big the dips are in those, but I've used it a lot, so I don't feel too bad about that. Next is this blush from Marcel. This is a Canadian brand, and this is in the shade Dust. Swatched right there. It's pretty basic, but I do really like it, and it kind of reminds me of my trip to Canada. Also, I can't just like go out and repurchase another one of these, so I am going to keep that for now. I have been really liking it so far. Next is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Obviously, I'm keeping this. Everyone on YouTube talks about this one, but it's so pretty. That is it swatched right there. It's so pretty and reflective, and I absolutely love it. Next we have this little blush from Technic. This one doesn't have a name on it. It's really pretty swatched, and I think it is really pretty like on the face. I don't like the packaging of it because it's really flimsy. Then I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile over here and make a decision on it at the end of the video. So next I have this Tarte blush palette. This was a limited edition Christmas item, and I love this so much. There might actually be a shade that's similar to this Technic shade in here, so I'm going to check it out real quick. Okay, so there actually isn't anything like this in here. I did some swatches of that, as you can see, but yeah, I'm still really not sure about this, so I'm going to keep it over there for now, but this I'm definitely keeping. These are such good quality. Okay, next we have this little mini Tarte blush, and this is from the birthday gift this year. This is in Party. It's just a nice everyday nude blush, so I'm gonna keep that. Then I have these two mini Too Faced Love Blush, or Love Flush blushes. I have Justify My Love and Love Hangover. Justify My Love is a really pretty cool toned pink, which I love. I'm keeping that. And Love Hangover is just a really nice peachy shade. I'm actually trying to hit pan on this year, but I am going to keep that. I have this Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Dazzled. It's a really pretty kind of soft rose, and it has some shimmer to it, and I really, really like this one, so I'm keeping that. The Tarte blush formula is amazing. This one is a different formula from Tarte. This is the Air Blush Maracuja blush in Shimmering Peach. It is a cream formula, but I really, really love this one. It is absolutely beautiful on the cheeks. That is what it looks like swatched. It's really like light, and it kind of reminds me of Luminoso a little bit, but just a bit darker. And I really, really love that, so I'm keeping that. Then I have this little Tarte cheek stain in Dazed, so that's what that one looks like. I don't really reach for this a whole lot because it is a cream product, and not only that, but it's like a stick product, which is very weird to me, but when I do wear this, my blush stays on all day long, so I really, really like this, and I think I do want to keep it. I just want to kind of make myself use it a bit more because I do really like it. It's just not as easy as powder products are for me. And then I have this blush palette from e.l.f. This is the light version, and that's what it looks like. On another note, I love the mirrors in here because they're just so huge and nice. These powders are really amazing. They're very pigmented, so you do have to use a light hand, but I really, really love them. Then I have these two Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes in these shades Rosé Champagne and Pearlescent Pink. This one is one of my absolute favorites. It's just a really pretty nude shade and I love it. I wear it all the time, so I'm keeping that for sure. And Pearlescent Pink is a beautiful peach with gold like shimmer through it. Then lastly for blush, I have this BH Cosmetics Professional Blush 10 Color Blush Palette, and this is what that one looks like. I do like these blushes and I like that you get an array of different shades in here. I think for somebody who is just beginning in makeup, or you know, is wanting to make like kind of grow their makeup kit, maybe you're a freelance makeup artist just starting out or something, I think this would be a good option. It was only $10 for 10 blushes, so that is really, really good. And it works for an array of different skin tones, which I like. But I do have other blushes in my collection that I like more. And then you just have a bunch of shades in here that I feel like I already have in my collection. So I don't really feel like I need this. There's some of these blushes swatched. Just for me and the stage that I'm at, I don't feel like I need it, and I don't really gravitate towards it. It doesn't bring me happiness in my collection anymore, so I think I am gonna get rid of it. Okay, moving on, we have bronzers. I have this bronzer from Technic. I just don't like the way this particular one looks on my skin, and I feel like it is a tiny bit patchy, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give this up. Bronzers don't really get me that excited, so that's why there's not that many of them here, and I just don't feel the need to have a bunch of different options for bronzer. This is actually a highlighter, so I'm gonna go down here. We have these two Too Faced bronzer little deluxe samples in Sun Bunny and Chocolate Soleil. They're both just really nice. This one makes your skin look really beautiful and luminous, and this one is just a perfect like contouring type of bronzer, so really like both of these. I'm definitely keeping those. This one I didn't really know whether to include it in blush or bronzer. This is the Too Faced Pink Leopard Blushing Bronzer, and I kind of use this as a 2-in-1 type of a thing. That is what it looks like. So for me, it's more of like a blush shade, but this is really nice for like really easy makeup. You can just kind of put this on, buff it in all over your cheeks as a blush bronzer type of duo, and it's just really fast and really beautiful. I have nothing else like it, so I'm definitely keeping that. My Benefit Hoola bronzer is amazing. Everyone talks about this. I've actually hit pan on it, and I am going to try and use this up this year, so I'm going to keep that. Here I have the Golden bronzer from e.l.f. This one is just kind of weird. It's a weird shade. It doesn't really come off as a bronzer for me, but it's not really a highlighter. I don't know. It's not really something that I use a lot, or that it just doesn't really work on my skin tone, and it is a bit like powdery, so I'm not really that into it. I'm going to go ahead and give that away. Then I have this e.l.f. bronzer palette in the shade Bronze Beauty. This is really, really nice. They did just come out with one for deeper skin tones as well, and I really like it, especially these three matte shades down here. Then lastly, this is kind of a bronzer highlighter duo thing. This is the Makeover Essentials Shimmering Powder Brush in Bronze. I don't want to open this because it smells so perfumey and it gives me a headache every time, so obviously I'm not keeping this. It is nice kind of for like a body shimmer type of a thing, but other than that, I mean, you can screw this bottom part out and you can dip your finger in and use it as an eyeshadow or something, but I cannot stand the smell of this, so I'm getting rid of it for sure. And then the rest is highlighters. Can you believe that? I have been on a highlighter kick lately. I don't know what it is, but it feels like every brand is coming out with highlighters, and I'm just drawn to them lately, so that is why I have so many. A lot of these were picked up in just the last few months, so that's really sad, but it's true. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through these. I don't know how much I'm gonna get rid of, but I'm going to try. So first up here, I have this Tarte little mini highlighter in Enthused. This was from a little Christmas kit thing. It's the only highlighter that I've actually hit pan on, and I am going to try and use this up this year, so I will be down another highlighter, but I'm going to keep this because I do really like it. If you use a very dense brush and you just pack it on there, it looks absolutely beautiful. Or you can do kind of a more subtle look with this and it still just looks gorgeous, so I really like this. Then I have this little mini Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. I've used this a few times and I do really like it so far. I don't think it's any better than like these Wet n Wild highlighters here, but it is a really good highlighter. I don't know if I would ever spend the money for a full size, but I like this a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. And then I also have the liquid version. It's called the Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight in Opal. I have been really liking this too, so I'm gonna keep that for now. This has been my new favorite thing. This is the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Beaming Blush. It's a really pretty pink highlighter with a gold reflect, and I just love it. It looks absolutely beautiful, so I've been obsessed with this. I'm definitely keeping this one. This is something really unique in my collection. I don't think a lot of people would really be into it because it is very glittery, but I really like it. This is the Urban Decay Naked Illuminated Powder in Aura. I don't really like the packaging of it because it is so bulky, but it comes with its own little brush, and then you get this nice baked powder, and that down there is what it looks like. It's really, really pretty. Like I said, it does have like glitter in it. I personally really like it because it makes your highlighter look really intense, and you can put it on top of other highlighters. You can use it by itself or whatever. But like I said, if you do not like glitter, you will not like this. So it's totally personal opinions, but I really like that, so I'm keeping it. Then over here I have this L'Oreal True Match Lumi highlighter in the shade Rose. That is what it looks like. It's a nice highlighter, but it's not exactly my favorite like shade for me. I do have other shades like it in like this palette right here. To be honest, I just don't really reach for it. It is a good highlighter from the drugstore. It's not my absolute favorite from the drugstore though, so I don't know if I can really recommend it. I much recommend a Wet n Wild one over this. If you see it and it appeals to you, pick it up, but for me it's just not something I reach for, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Then down the next row we have this Technic highlighting cream, and it doesn't have a shade on it again. It's a pretty color, but it just goes on the skin so streaky, and it does, like when you blend it in, it just kind of fades away, so it's just really, really weird. I'm just not a fan of the formula of this, so I am going to go ahead and pass that on. These two Wet n Wild highlighters are really good. These are the two Reflect Shimmer palettes in I'll Have a Cosmo and Boozy Brunch. Don't mind these swatches right here. I was swatching this palette to see how similar they were to the L'Oreal one, which these two shades are pretty similar to that. But these two are the Wet n Wild. This is I'll Have a Cosmo, and this one is Boozy Brunch. I do like Boozy Brunch better. It's a lot more smooth. This is the gold shade, but this pink shade is also really nice. My sister actually picked it up for me after a pretty bad breakup to kind of like cheer me up, so it does kind of have that sentimental value to me, just because it was like my sister doing something really nice for me and it meant a lot to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep both of those. Then I have this little Trestique mini highlight stick. This doesn't say what shade it's in, so I don't know, but I have been really loving this little highlight stick, and I don't really know why, because, you know, like, stick formulas, like I said, aren't really my thing, but I've just been using it a lot. I think because it's such a beautiful shade, and it's just a really, really nice formula, so definitely recommend this, and I am going to keep that. Then I have the Too Faced Love Light Prismatic Highlighter in Ray of Light. These were talked about so much when they first came out because I feel like it's like such a gimmicky kind of a thing with the heart packaging and everything. A lot of people did not end up liking these, and I feel like it is because it's more of a subtle highlighter. That is it swatched right there. I don't know how well you can see. I personally do really like this highlighter. If you take a really dense brush into it and kind of pack it on, it looks really beautiful. It is more subtle than a lot of the really blinding highlighters, but I do like it. I don't think it's worth $30. I think a lot of what you're paying for is the cute packaging, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. I really like packaging to look nice. I think it adds to the experience of using makeup, which I personally enjoy, but if that's not your cup of tea. You can get really, really great drugstore highlighters that are maybe even better if you like a more intense highlight, and you don't have to spend $30 on it. So that's just kind of my take on these, but I do really like this and I'm going to keep it. I just don't think I would buy another one necessarily because I think they are overpriced. Then down here we have this ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Wisp. That is what that one looks like. This one is super duper pigmented, very intense. It's a beautiful gold shade and I just think it's so beautiful. I definitely want to try out more of these ColourPop highlighters because it's such a nice formula, so I'm keeping that for sure. Here I have these two Wet n Wild highlighters. I love these so much. These are the Mega Glow highlighting powders in Crown of My Canopy and Precious Petals. These were the first two that originally launched. They've recently come out with 4 more shades, which I really want to get, but I know that I don't need them because I have a bajillion highlighters. I just really, really want them because they look so pretty and this formula is amazing. So that is what Precious Petals looks like. A really pretty rose gold. I'm absolutely keeping that. And then Crown of My Canopy is a bit darker, more of like a coppery shade. It is definitely too dark for me to use as a highlight, but I do enjoy using this as a blush topper, and I know that that's not really a necessary step in makeup. You definitely don't have to go out and buy a blush topper, but it is a nice way to use up products that you already have that maybe are a bit too dark for you or whatever. So I really like it. I think it looks beautiful on top of blush. So I'm definitely going to keep that as well. Then over here I have this Pure Elevation Mini Highlighter Palette. I really like this one. These are definitely more subtle highlighters. That is Boost right there, this first shade right here. And as you can see, it's just not like as reflective as these other shades or these other formulas, but it still ends up looking really, really pretty on the skin, and I do enjoy a more subtle highlight from time to time, so I am going to keep this. Down here I have this Sephora Luminizing palette. The only shade I can't use in this palette as a highlighter is this shade right here, so for the most part I get my use out of this palette. These are all really, really pigmented and very smooth. The only one that has kind of a different formula is this pink shade right up here. It's a bit more powdery and chunky. You just have to kind of be careful with it and not use as much of it, but the other ones are very blendable and buttery, and I definitely really like it. It's absolutely beautiful, and like I love the color section here because it's definitely something that could be used for multiple skin tones. This is $28, so it's, in my opinion, very much worth the money. You do get a lot in here and I really like it, so I'm going to keep it. Then lastly I have this e.l.f. Illuminating palette. These just aren't shimmery enough in my opinion. They're very, very subtle highlighters. I will show you what I mean. So you can see this is like the subtle highlighter I was showing you from Pure, and then this is the e.l.f. So even this has more reflection to it than the e.l.f. The e.l.f. is pretty much matte, which is fine if that's what you like, but for me, I mean, I can make these two top ones look really, really pretty. I pack them on the skin and they look gorgeous. The powder itself feels really nice. It's really good quality, but I can't use these bottom two shades because this one is basically the same tone as my skin tone, and if it were shimmery, it would look amazing, but it's not, so it just looks flat on my skin. It looks like nothing. And this one is too dark, which I would use as a blush topper or something, but again, it doesn't have that shimmer to it, so it's just kind of useless to me. These two are the only shades that I used, which I used a lot of. I don't know if you can see the dips in those, but I used them a lot. But I just have so many other highlighters that I like more and that give me a little more, because these just don't really do it for me. If I want a subtle highlighter, I will go for the Pure palette first. And even, like, I kind of have a gradient of subtle highlighters, subtle to more, like, intense, but this just doesn't really fit in there. It's just a little too subtle in my opinion, so I am going to get rid of that. So then in our maybe pile, we only have one thing, which is really good for me. I usually have a bunch, and it is really pretty, but I think I am going to go ahead and pass it on. I just have so many blushes that I like more and use more, so I don't really see a need in keeping that. So this is everything we're keeping, and this is what we're giving away. It looks really, really sad, But I told you that this was gonna be really hard for me, so even getting rid of this much is still like really hard for me. Okay, I think over here we have 29. I kind of lost count, and then over here is 9. So this has definitely been my worst declutter as far as how much I'm getting rid of, but I knew this one was going to be hard. Let me go ahead and scan through and make sure there's nothing else I want to get rid of, but I really don't see anything that's jumping out at me. I'm looking at everything here and I am really happy with it. I really like the products that I kept, so I'm glad that there's not these ones in my collection taking up space that I don't use and or don't like. There's really nothing else at this point that I want to get rid of from this side, so I am sorry that this isn't the most, I guess, successful declutter, but for me it is pretty successful because I did get rid of this much stuff, which, like I said, these are my favorite products out of like any makeup product, so it was definitely going to be really hard for me to get rid of a lot. If you want to see bigger declutters where I get rid of a lot more stuff, then definitely go and check out my declutter playlist. It will be in the description below. Sorry that this one was kind of a fail, but I did my best. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Show me some love down in the comments for doing this because it was really hard for me, and I know I didn't do the greatest, but please don't hate on me. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye guys!